All right, so today we're going to dive into something pretty fascinating. We're going to take a deep dive into the world of an anthropology lecturer. And to guide us on this little journey, we've got the career gurus over at RoleCatcher.
Always a good source.
Oh, yeah. They always have some great insights. And we're not just talking about, what it takes to land one of these jobs. We're talking about what it takes to actually thrive in this kind of career.
Right, right.
And if I say looking through this stuff, it's pure gold, especially if you're someone who's ever felt that pull, towards unraveling the mysteries of human culture and history, anthropology, right?
Absolutely. What I find really fascinating about this is that RoleCatcher paints this picture of an anthropology lecturer's career that's way more dynamic than just, lecture. It's like this blend of teaching, research, and even a dash of what I like to call academic entrepreneurship.
Okay, academic entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Now you've got me hooked. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this unexpected twist.
Well, think about it, right? Anthropology lecturers, they're not just kind of transmitting knowledge,
Right.
They're actually creating it.
Oh, interesting.
RoleCatcher's research actually found that these academics are often juggling fieldwork expeditions with publishing groundbreaking research, and then on top of that, they're inspiring, the next generation of anthropologists.
Yeah.
It's a career that definitely requires intellectual agility, a thirst for discovery, and a real knack for weaving together compelling narratives, often from, sometimes very fragmented pieces of the past,
Yeah. And that's a really great point, because it's one thing to, say, lecture about, the intricacies of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, but it's another thing entirely to be out in the field.
Oh, absolutely.
Deciphering those hieroglyphs firsthand, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of challenges do anthropology lecturers face when it comes to conducting this kind of field work? I mean, we're talking about potentially remote locations, different cultures, maybe even the occasional venomous snake.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Fieldwork is really where the rubber meets the road in anthropology. And RoleCatcher, they don't hold back. They really dive deep into the nitty-gritty of what that actually entails. Imagine, trekking through the Amazon rainforest to document the rituals of some isolated indigenous tribe, or meticulously excavating a prehistoric burial site out in the Gobi Desert, right?
Wow.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart.
No kidding. It sounds both exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. So RoleCatcher also mentioned that anthropology lecturers often specialize in a particular area of the field.
Right.
So does the type of field work vary depending on that specialization.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It varies wildly. You could have a cultural anthropologist, for example. They might spend months living in a remote village, immersing themselves in the local way of life to really understand the social structures and belief systems at play, whereas an archaeologist might be more focused on excavating ancient ruins, right? Carefully unearthing pottery shards, tools, maybe even human remains, that kind of thing.
Right.
All of which can shed light on past civilizations. Wow. And then, of course, you've got your linguistic anthropologists, and they delve into the intricacies of language, often traveling to regions where indigenous languages are still spoken, so they can document the grammar, syntax, and the cultural significance of those languages.
Wow. So it's not just about having a general love for anthropology. It's about finding that specific niche, that particular puzzle of human history or culture that you're really passionate about, and then piecing it all together.
Precisely. You've got to find that thing that really grabs you. Because, and RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat this either, this career path. It's competitive, it's demanding, and it requires an unwavering commitment to lifelong learning.
Well, speaking of lifelong learning, one detail from RoleCatcher that really stood out to me is that the average anthropology lecturer, they go above and beyond just having a degree.
Oh, yeah.
They're attending conferences, they're participating in workshops, some are even pursuing specialized certifications. It's like they're constantly leveling up their knowledge and skills.
It really is. It's like the ultimate knowledge is power career. And RoleCatcher, in their research, they found that this commitment to continuous learning, it's crucial for anthropology lecturers to stay ahead of the curve, because it's a field that's constantly evolving, right?
Right, yeah.
New discoveries are being made all the time. New technologies are emerging to analyze data, and new ways of understanding human cultures and societies are constantly being debated and refined.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it makes sense, though, right? Imagine basing your entire career on the study of human history and culture.
Yeah.
Only to find out that your understanding is totally outdated
Right.
because you haven't kept up with the latest research or the newest methodologies.
Yeah.
That's got to be a humbling, if not slightly terrifying thought.
It's the nature of the beast, especially in a field as dynamic as anthropology. But at the same time, I think that's what makes it so exciting. There's always something new to learn. There's always another layer to uncover, always a new perspective to consider.
Right, right. Always evolving. So with all of that said, how does one even begin to navigate this, ever-evolving world of anthropology and then actually build a successful career as a lecturer? I mean, RoleCatcher really emphasizes that. It's not just about being passionate and knowledgeable. It's about standing out in what is a highly competitive field.
Yeah, and that's where RoleCatcher's insights really shine. They've analyzed the career paths of countless anthropology lecturers.
Wow.
And they've identified these key strategies for success, and it all starts with those who are just beginning their journey.
Okay, so for those just starting out.
Yeah, at the very beginning, RoleCatcher suggests that aspiring anthropology lecturers should think like archaeologists on a dig. You got to start by laying a solid foundation.
Okay, I like that analogy. So we're not talking about jumping straight into a lecture hall.
Yeah.
And, wowing students with theories about the dawn of humankind.
Not quite. RoleCatcher found that hands-on experience is absolutely crucial in those early career stages.
Gotcha.
We're talking field work, research assistant roles, anything that provides tangible skills, and real-world application of those anthropological theories.
So it's not enough to just ace those anthropology exams. You got to get your hands dirty, so to speak.
Precisely. It's one thing to understand the methodologies of ethnographic research, but it's another thing entirely to conduct interviews, to collect data, and navigate the complexities of fieldwork firsthand.
Right.
And those experiences, RoleCatcher argues, are invaluable for aspiring lecturers.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not just, regurgitating textbook knowledge. You're bringing real-world insights to the table. So what about those who've gained some experience and are maybe starting their lecturing careers? What does RoleCatcher suggest for those just entering the academic arena?
So this is where things get interesting. RoleCatcher highlights a really crucial skill for entry-level anthropology lecturers. That might surprise you a little bit. Active listening.
Now, hold on. I thought lecturing was all about, captivating students with your vast knowledge, not the other way around.
That's a common misconception for sure. But RoleCatcher found that the most successful anthropology lecturers, they don't just lecture, they actually facilitate a really dynamic learning environment.
Yeah.
This means engaging students in discussions, encouraging critical thinking, and yes, actively listening to their perspectives.
So it's not just about being the sage on the stage. It's about creating a space where students feel comfortable, questioning, debating, even challenging the status quo.
Exactly. And that requires a different set of skills than simply delivering, a well-researched lecture.
For sure.
It's about fostering intellectual curiosity, creating a sense of community within the classroom, and recognizing that sometimes those really insightful questions, they come from those who are just beginning their anthropological journey.
Right, right. It's like that saying, the best teachers are always learning. But in this case, they're learning from their students.
Exactly.
So we've got the hands-on experience, we've got the active listening skills. What other gems did RoleCatcher uncover about succeeding in this field?
One word. Networking.
Networking.
RoleCatcher found that building and nurturing those professional relationships, it's crucial for anthropology lectures, especially in those early years.
Okay, so networking. It's not just for corporate climbers in suits anymore.
Not at all. Think about it. Anthropology, it's a field that's built on collaboration.
Right.
Researchers are constantly sharing their findings, they're debating interpretations, and they're often collaborating on projects that span continents and cultures.
Yeah.
So having a strong network can open doors to exciting research opportunities, collaborations with leading experts, and even those coveted academic positions.
So it's not just about what you know about, ancient civilizations or cultural anthropology. It's about who digs those things too.
Pretty much.
Networking can be a bit intimidating, though, especially in academia. Any tips from RoleCatcher on how to build those connections authentically?
They actually suggest something pretty intriguing. Building a strong online presence.
Okay, so now we're talking about, building an online presence. I always thought, dusty library stacks and ancient artifacts didn't exactly scream digital influencer.
Right. Not the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But hear me out on this. RoleCatcher found that anthropology lecturers are increasingly using online platforms to share their research, engage with a wider audience, and connect with colleagues across the globe.
So we're talking websites, blogs, maybe even some anthropological TikToks about the latest discoveries.
You got it. It's about making your work accessible,
Yeah.
sparking conversations, and yeah, even having a little fun with it.
Love it.
It's a way for anthropology lecturers to step out from behind the podium and engage with the public in a more meaningful way.
I love that. It's like breaking down the ivory tower a little bit and bringing anthropology to the masses. But let's be honest, a career in academia, it's not all, fieldwork adventures and insightful lectures.
Right.
RoleCatcher doesn't shy away from the challenges, and I think it's important that we address those as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's crucial to have a realistic view of this career path. And RoleCatcher, they provide those grounding truths alongside the inspiring aspects, for sure.
Okay, so let's rip off the Band-Aid. What are some of the potential downsides that aspiring anthropology lecturers should be prepared for?
Well, let's address the elephant in the room, the academic job market.
Right.
RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. Securing a tenure-track position is highly competitive. We're often talking hundreds of applicants. For a handful of positions,
Wow, it's like the academic Hunger Games. So what factors did RoleCatcher find contribute to actually landing one of those coveted positions? Is it all about publications and research grants?
while those are definitely crucial, don't get me wrong, RoleCatcher found that universities are increasingly looking for more. They want well-rounded individuals who can bring a diverse set of skills to the table.
So it's not just about being a brilliant researcher. It's about being an engaging teacher, a skilled communicator, and yes, even a savvy networker.
Precisely. Universities are seeking individuals who can connect with students, contribute to the intellectual community, and secure funding for their research. It's a multifaceted role, for sure. It requires a really unique blend of academic rigor and, dare I say, entrepreneurial spirit.
That's interesting. And this is all incredibly insightful. But let's be honest, a lot of people are drawn to academia for the love of learning, the thrill of discovery, not necessarily the prospect of navigating a cutthroat job market.
Right.
So what did RoleCatcher have to say about the less tangible rewards of this career path?
This is where RoleCatcher's findings really resonated with me. They highlighted this profound sense of purpose that a lot of anthropology lecturers experience.
Yeah.
It's about contributing to our understanding of humanity,
Yeah.
of who we are, where we come from, and what it means to navigate the complexities of human societies and cultures.
All right.
It's a career that's really driven by intellectual curiosity, a thirst for knowledge, and a deep appreciation for the diversity of human experience. RoleCatcher actually found that for many anthropology lecturers, the true reward lies in unraveling the mysteries of the past, to shed light on the present, and maybe even offer some insights into the future.
It's like holding a mirror up to humanity, right? Both its triumphs and its failings. And using those reflections to foster greater understanding and empathy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a powerful motivator. And frankly, it's a refreshing change of pace from the usual climb the corporate ladder narrative we hear so often.
Oh, totally. And RoleCatcher emphasizes that this sense of purpose often translates into a really deep satisfaction with their work, even in the face of all those challenges we talked about.
So it's not just about the paycheck. It's about the privilege of, delving into these fascinating questions about what it means to be human.
Exactly. It's about nurturing that next generation of anthropologists, sparking their curiosity, and empowering them to really grapple with these complex issues facing our world today.
And what I found really interesting was RoleCatcher's observation that anthropology lecturers, they're often at the forefront of tackling some of society's most pressing issues, climate change, social inequality, globalization, cultural preservation. It's like their work extends far beyond the classroom and into the very fabric of our globalized world.
Absolutely. Anthropology provides this really unique lens through which to analyze those complex issues, drawing on insights from history, culture, human behavior, to offer these really nuanced perspectives and potential solutions.
It's like they have this superpower, this ability to connect the dots, right, between these seemingly disparate events and ideas, to kind of reveal these underlying patterns of human behavior.
It's pretty amazing.
It's got to be both exhilarating and a little daunting at the same time.
You're not wrong. It's a career that demands intellectual rigor, for sure, and a healthy dose of humility.
And a sense of humor, I'd imagine, when you're dealing with the vastness of human history and the complexities of cultural differences. You've got to be able to laugh at the absurdity of it all sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. A sense of humor is essential, not just to maintain your own sanity, but to connect with students, colleagues, research subjects, in a genuine and meaningful way.
So to wrap things up, it seems like RoleCatcher paints a picture of the anthropology lecturer as a sort of academic superhero.
I like it.
Right. Armed with knowledge, fueled by curiosity,
Yeah.
and driven by a deep sense of purpose. They're out there excavating ancient ruins, decoding forgotten languages, and challenging our very understanding of what it means to be human.
And they're doing all of that while juggling lectures, grading papers, writing research grants, and yes, even navigating the occasional faculty meeting.
It's not always glamorous, but it's definitely never boring. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive into the world of an anthropology lecturer. A huge thank you to RoleCatcher for providing such a comprehensive and insightful guide to this fascinating career path.
It really is an invaluable resource for anyone considering a career in academia, or even just for anyone who's curious about what it takes to unravel the mysteries of human history and culture.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. If anthropology is the study of humanity, then perhaps the most important lesson it teaches us is that the journey of discovery and understanding never truly ends. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep embracing the incredible diversity of human experience. Until next time, happy learning.